you know, that I've been blessed with. And so when I go into the store or when I eat, I really try to do my best because my body is so good to me. It is such an incredible, you know, blessing. You know, it does so many miraculous things. Do you know that every cell in our body is replaced within a year? I mean, that's like, that means every day you have a fresh chance to start all over. I mean, if the doctor tells you, like they tell us all the time, I'm a healthcare professional myself, I'm a registered nurse. They tell us all the time, you know, you're going to die. You know, I mean, what? I got a new one coming up. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I can rebuild this. All right. You know, and I don't have like those kind of stories about my health like what she shared, but I know of them. There's a sister you can go online, Dr. Jewel Pookrum, P-O-O-K-R-U-M. This sister had some kind of terminal lung cancer. They told her she was going to die in some period. She went on and became a surgeon herself. Okay? You know, healed herself. You know, and there's so many people that have done that. So it's like the God that's within us is really real. You know, and we should know it every time, you know, we just hear our heartbeat, our breathing. It's like, you didn't do that, you know, just by yourself. It's God and you that's doing that, you know, because it's miraculous. And all the little things that happen inside our body is so miraculous. You know, it's like you get a little stick or a little scratch and it's like platelets come running over there and white blood cells and macrophages be grabbing. It's just this really intricate, miraculous thing that's happening all the time. So we should really pay homage to that, you know what I'm saying, and honor that. So I always try to say the first thing that we should think about is doing what we know. Before you learn anything else, go on the computer or hear me or her, just do what we know. Because I have worked with so many people. I used to work with young girls at Casamont doing the CTAP program for pregnant teens. And I could ask any of them, what is a healthy diet? And every one of them could basically tell me what a healthy diet was. But were they eating it? No. So the first thing is to just start with what we know. If you know that you should have at least a vegetable today, have a vegetable. Have a fresh vegetable. If you know you should have a fruit a day, have a fruit. Just start there without it even being complicated. Just start with what we know and then build on that knowledge. This is the time when we can get any information we want. You know? So then build on that knowledge. There's something else that you mentioned too about alkalinity. So our bodies have a pH. The pH needs to stay balanced, but the things that we eat right now, and even some of our attitudes and stuff, actually cause your pH to shift. When the pH shifts to a more acid, it allows various things to fester that wouldn't fester and things to happen in your body. The first time I heard that was in a book called How to Stay Out of a Gynecologist's Office. I was a little young, yeah. But one thing that it showed was almost every vaginal infection could be cured by just changing your pH. You didn't need any of those toxic drugs and stuff that they would give you, the antibiotics, all of that stuff. You didn't even need that. All you needed to do was shift the pH in your body and things could not live there. So it's for us to learn about our pH. And whatever we do know, which is what she shared with us today about the fruits and vegetables actually helping your alkalinity, the alkalinity of your body, then let's utilize that and add that to our vocabulary and then search it out. We'll go online and look up some more things about alkalinity. There's also alkaline water, right? They're selling alkaline water some places.
Yeah, they are, but yeah.
Well, you might want to check into it. I've heard good things about it. I've heard some people say they feel the difference when they drink it, you know, and it's worth checking out. You know, also, I've heard people say the same thing about when they use the alkaline, the machines that help bring the water to an alkaline state also gets rid of fluoride in the water, which is something else that we don't want to have in our water. Just on that note, the fluoride causes the calcification of our pineal gland. And our pineal gland is what opens up us up to our greater consciousness, to our creativity, and just our better self. They say that when people have near-death experiences and when people transition, that something happens with the pineal gland. And actually cause that kind of stimulation to happen in your life. It doesn't have to be just when you're transitioning. So, you know, it would move us to check. It's a reason that this government decided to put fluoride in our water, you know? So, and it's a reason that people protested all over Europe to make sure they didn't have fluoride in their water when the governments over there were deciding to put fluoride in the water. So it's just something that might move us to check, okay? And think about when we're doing our water supply or doing our filters or what else. Let's see. That's kind of it for me, unless you all have any questions. There are a lot of things that I can cover about our health and well-being, but I really want to open up so we can ask questions. Yes, sir.
Can you, do you know anything about the apple cider vinegar and how to do that dosage and what does that do for the body? Can you speak on that?
Yes, I'll share with you what I do know. I don't know a lot about like what you're talking about in terms of the dosage, but what I do know is, like I said earlier, I'm from the South, and it took me a minute to figure it out. But you know, how many of you know about vinegar on top of peppers in a jar?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you know that's what we used to add to the fat back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the fat back in your greens, but you always added vinegar, right? You had fat back on your beans, but you always added vinegar. Well, one day I was over in San Francisco. There's a guy that used to work on computers, a Senegalese brother used to work on computers. And I was over there, there was about 5 brothers in the house, and they finished eating, and they were sitting around, and they took some vinegar and poured vinegar in cups, and they all was drinking vinegar water. I could not give it a taste, but they explained to me that it was to break up stuff that they had eaten and keep their vessels clean. You know, and so for me, it just registered what we did in the South. You know, we always added that vinegar. And when I know what those fats do to your arteries, the way they cause the buildup of, you know, how we have arterial. The first surgery in nursing school that I saw was a surgery of, they opened the person's chest, and their vessel was like blocked off this much. You know, the blood was just like this, you know, going on through here. And it was deep. They had to go in, and they actually had to remove this part of the vessel because when this, all of that, what they call arteriosclerosis, right? When all of that had adhered, it actually causes the walls of the vessels to be rigid and destroyed. So they had to remove that and actually put something else in. But, so when they're doing the vinegar, it helps to break that up. Okay? So I'm not sure about the dosage like what you were talking about, but I do know that.
You could start off with 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to the poured water. And if you find that you want to add more, you can do that.
Yeah, I had a cold 2 weeks ago, and I took it for a
Oh,
week.
you take a shot.
And it was gone.
Yeah, you get lower blood pressure immediately.
It's
just
just,
a shot.
it's amazing. I think it's a miracle. The reason why I mentioned it is that I think the apple cider vinegar, and you can go online, like you said, and find the dosage. It's to me, it's a miracle drug.
Yeah.
Really. A miracle, what is the,
medicine. Food medicine. I mean, apple is just fermented.
I was going to say, what else? Does grapeseed extract work like that, or lemon juice?
Grapeseed extract, you know, I wouldn't use, no. It's really, grapeseed extract is astringent. You have to dilute that.
Okay.
You really have to dilute it. It's not for everyone. But, you know, there's something we can do. I'll show you muscle testing real quick. If you're not sure, I mean, everybody is different. Literally, bodies are different, going through different things. You could do muscle testing. If anybody have anything to eat, I could just show you how you do it. If you really don't know if it's good for your body, our body knows. Is that gone? Oh, the wrapper works. The wrapper works. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. Because of the energy of it. So I could do it. I can show it. We could do it in different, you know.
Okay.
Or I could do it by myself. Okay, so it's really easy. You can't think about it. I just got a client doing this in Whole Foods. So if you don't know, it could be a vitamin, anything you want to put into your body, because your body knows. It's called the muscles. Okay. So if I'm going to go backwards, that's not for me. But if it sends me forward, it's good. So you can't think about it. You just got to put it here. I go back, right? So this is not good for me. But if you sit there like this, you have to put it here real quick and just don't even think. So you can do it. Another person, okay. Just don't think. Just don't think. You can't think. Just do it. Just going back. Yeah. So keep it simple, right? Remember, simplicity is where it is. So yeah. And you can test each other out.
And I don't need that.
Thank you. So that's the way you can straight out.
Yes, he is.
Oh, yes. So I know, did you want to go first, bud? You go first. I know the pH line, you have the base and you have the acids, and you don't want to eat too much vegetables, right? Because it'll throw off your pH level, and like the chemicals will start to release, as in, you don't want to eat too much acidic, like fruits and stuff, and it'll mess up your pH level. So is there a balance of what we should eat or anything?
Well, when you really look at the standard American diet, I doubt it.
You're going to be too alkaline.
You're not going to be too alkaline. I mean,
Yeah.
no judgment, but unless you are strict, like not strict, but a raw foodist, even they can become acid with too many nuts.
Okay.
But I wouldn't make that
Yeah,
issue right now. But remember, pH stands for potential hydrogen. Okay, hydrogen is, I don't even know why we have the chain of chemistry. Hydrogen is where it is. You know, when you think about it, hydrogen is like 99.9% of what. So just think about simplicity.
What you just said that nuts actually are acid.
They are, but almonds are the only alkaline nut. But you want to soak them, because when you soak nuts, you wake them up. If they're dormant, they're sleeping. You want to soak the nuts first, make a good pate. Well, I'm getting hungry. So there's ways we can do that. But then again, there's still protein, and they will become amino acids.
So the reason I'm saying
Yeah.
that is because then to that note, that means that everything that's not meat doesn't mean that it's just alkaline.
Yeah.
That it's going to just stew you all there. But me, I've never heard of you just overdoing it with just vegetables. And the things that I've been hearing as of late with regard to what do you call it, casein?
Oh, that's Elmer's glue. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to, milk, there's two parts of milk.
Yeah.
Way
You know,
casein.
just some of the things that I've been hearing lately, because me, like, I never, like, really, like, say, oh, I'm vegetarian, you know, I don't, but I can go without meat for 2 or 3 years. I just, like, some people feel like they have to have it, but I really don't. Like, you know, my family all come over for Thanksgiving, you know, they like to bring their turkey and whatever, you know, but, I mean, if I feel like it, I might partake, but this last time I didn't, so it just doesn't bother me not to. You know, and I like, I just like being healthy. I like doing what I think is best for my body. That's it.
I have a question. So for some of us, it might be our first time going through the 21-day vegan fast. And I remember when I did it the first time a couple of years ago, it was like a lot. I was hungry all the time. I mean, I was going regularly. So I don't know, maybe if you can give like some tips of things to people to be aware of if they're going from chicken one day to straight vegan the next day. Like maybe just some things to help us.
I'm sure Lori has some really good things on nutrition and stuff. I will just tell you what I used because I was a vegan back in like 1982, 83, and when I was pregnant with my first son, and they gave me a lot of flack, you know, with the healthcare professionals and stuff. But there's a book called Laurel's Kitchen. And you can probably find used copies at some used bookstores. And that book has it really has a nice scale that tells you the different nutritional value of different foods and different amounts of foods. So, you know, offhand, the first thing I would say is you want to try to be conscious that you're getting a variety of things when you eat, you know. And for me, I always look at different colors. You know, when I cook, I'm always grabbing the camera and taking pictures. I'm like, oh, get the camera, it looks so pretty. I like colors in my food, you know. So I really keep my camera charged at home because I like taking pictures of all the different colors. I like to have dark purple collards mixed with some Swiss chard green ones and some red, and cut up the red and put that in there, put some bright orange carrots in there, you know. And so the colors are going to assure you of having different vitamins and minerals. So you want to make sure that's probably, if you're hungry, because people here get hungry all the time, even when they're eating all the time. We were just talking about that on the way here. people here, many people in the States are really obese because they eat so much food that doesn't have nutritional value, and their body just keep being hungry. They never get the signal it's full. So you want to just be conscious that you eat nutritious stuff. But I'm sure Birdie has some more she can tell you about nutritional value of food.
Okay.
In regards, sorry.
Well, let me say, I mean, are you restricting your diet when you do it for 21? Because if you do it,
No, I was trying to abide by the guideline. But I just remember my first time just being like, wow, this feels like a real sacrifice. It's like I'm hungry all the time. And I don't know, just
you already spelled that on yourself. You're spelling it. That's a spell. We spell things. So this time you say, you know what, I'm doing it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we language a lot. So try there. But that's basically I was going to pretty much
And
say.
I wasn't using the varieties. That's
And I
why.
love to eat.
But we need nutrients.
We
We need nutrients. So when we have nutrients, we're not hungry. Nutrients is what we need. Okay, one, two. I don't know, question?
Yeah, so the question I have, I know we're talking about meats to a certain extent, but also I was talking to someone else and they were telling me that other than meats, it's eggs and cheese and things like that as well. Anything that's made with something from animal is not good for you.
Yeah.
So what are the other things outside of meat that we should be aware of?
Right.
Reduce?
I can't say that because you eat it's not good for you. It's, you know, yeah, it's how was it gotten to you? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I eat chickens. I take the food to chickens in my friend's backyard. So I eat the eggs. You know what I'm saying? I got that relationship with them. So I know. So yeah, just count for that. But I hear what you're saying though. Are there alternative substitutes?
Well,
If you're attempting to do vegan, you could do tempeh. Tempeh is a fermented soy paste. I mean, I
I
fried
mean, there's
it.
a lot of things that you
Yeah.
can do, but I just want to speak on
Mushrooms.
what he's saying
Oh.
in terms of meat and dairy products.
Oh, yeah.
You know, milk, eggs, and cheese are really not good for us. I mean, and I will say that because eggs, our body produces the exact amount of cholesterol that we need. So any extra cholesterol is this. Unless you have a system and a way of eliminating it. But any cholesterol that you take in is excess. The cheese is cholesterol. And so almost eggs, right?
Yeah.
So that's two things to remember. And then when we just getting ready to mention the casein.
Yeah, but let me make a point on the cholesterol. And so really to determine if it has cholesterol, a lot of, I call it makeup on packages, you know, of course cereal doesn't have cholesterol. Anything with a mother has cholesterol, remember that. Does a chicken have a mother?
Yes.
Okay, if it has a mother, it has cholesterol. Bottom line.
Yeah.
I mean, and one thing about cholesterol, the flip side of it, a positive side, we need it. And when we get excess, we have people with 600 points in cholesterol. It's also another way of protecting us. We need cholesterol. We really need, I mean, we really need, so if you're,
I need
if
to
it's
talk
not,
to her.
Google Dr. Morris. He keeps it
Yeah.
very simple. And a lot of the information that I use and I practice, is this guy is 40 years, check him out. He's gonna be pure and simple. He deals with the lymphatics. That's why I started early, interstitial constipation. Because lymph not moving, it's not filtering the kidneys. If you want to see if your kidneys are filtering, I mean, you know, I'm saying this because you take a jar, put it by the pee in a cup. It has to be cloudy. It shouldn't be clear. It should be cloudy like white. That means your lymphatic system is moving to your kidneys. If your kidneys are not filtering, your lymph is stuck. What do you get? Oils, skin rashes. That's our third kidney, the skin. So when we start seeing stuff on our skin, oh, kidneys aren't filtering, start brushing your skin up towards the heart. You got to get that lymph moving, unless you know you're jumping on a trampoline or doing exercises. That moves it. So I got lost. I get so excited.
It was something.
She's grounding me.
It was something I just got something about cheese. I was just listening to something.
Oh yeah, the casein. You want to talk about?
Yeah, it was the casein, but it was something else. I didn't write it down though. But it had something to do with something in those products that cause you to have a similar to an addictive. It connects to some receptors in your body, like that is something like morphine. It has strands that is like morphine, and it causes you to have this effect that I mean, you will hear people that give up everything they cannot give up cheese.
Yeah.
You know? And this particular scientist was speaking to that and saying that there's something in it that connects with your DNA and acts like morphine. It really acts like the drug inside your body.
Peach cobbler.
And,
The whole, it's like this whole sugar fat salt addiction. You know, that's the well,
Right,
new thing,
right,
that's what's
right.
out when you think about it. What are we really addicted to? So we can change that within our palate. I mean, what's stronger? You know, we do little
yes,
games
that's
and
the
stuff.
thing.
Is
What you
this-
just said
yeah.
was stronger.
Yeah, so the will, the discipline. So when we talk about, just want to capture on the casein, so there's two parts, whey and casein. The whey is the water, the casein is the glue. That's where Elmer's glue is coming from.
And that's what's in milk?
Casein and whey. Casein is the thing. I mean, who drinks milk without getting, mucus? Right. So mucus goes back to the interstitial constipation. And milk's not the only mucus-causing food. Wheat, any grain. I used to really promote the grains, but I really don't promote grains anymore unless they're sprouted. You have to bring them alive. We are living organisms. Live body, live food, dead body. I'm not gonna say dead food, dead body, but we have to do the balance. You got to go out there and get those high-frequency foods and blend them. I'm not saying change, but just incorporate them. Start by incorporating. At least have those enzymes. Because,
That's what I was going to say.
yeah, so we have a bank account.
Yes, it was.
So we get when we're born with enzymes. Enzymes are like the workers. Like you're going to build a house, you have the material, you have the foreman telling you what to do, but the workers are the enzymes. They're working, right? And the foremans are like, maybe the minerals. It's like, it's in the body of a car. But the enzymes are catalysts. They go around creating chemical reactions, and yet they stay the same. Those are enzymes. So if we continue to eat just dead foods,
Foods that don't have enzymes in them. Basically, we have a certain amount of enzymes in our body already. And those enzymes already have their job to do. And then when we consume foods that don't have enzymes in them, it causes our body to have to give up enzymes that it had for something else to break down food that naturally, the way God gave it to us, has enzymes, but because of the way foods are processed, they don't have those enzymes anymore. So, after so many years of that, they don't talk about it in general when you hear about diabetes. I didn't hear about it in my nursing school classes, but I did put some stuff together. If your body is being depleted of the enzymes that are there to work, to do some work that they weren't supposed to do, and then your body might get tired and this pancreas is like, look, I'm tired of this. She's just not listening. She's not bringing her own. So when you eat food, like she's saying, I sprout a lot of my beans. I don't sprout the grains as much. I need to try that. But I sprout my beans all the time because I like the way
That
that.
means sprout your baby.
Oh, you know how we soak our beans, right? So I soak them, but I soak them like an extra day or two till they sprout up. And sometimes they sprout so much I can use some of them on my salad as well as cooking.
Wow.
And when you cook them, they don't give you the gas. They're much lighter, and they have enzymes. They're alive.
So the benefit of the sprout, like if you do that, you want to put them in a jar and put a stocking over. If you have a sprout cap, and turn them upside down and just let them sprout, rinse them twice a day. But the beautiful benefit of sprouts are when they start to peak, that little sprout coming out, it's like a baby. Babies have energy. They're just evolving. That's the glorious time. That's the life. That is the life in that bean sprout. But then you can sprout and they'll continue to go. They go adding water. They're living foods.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
What prefaces by being the fact that I've done everything you said wrong. I've done it for so many years until they finally told me I had diabetes and that I was doing the bad thing. I definitely and almost desperately want to go on this fast. I have attempted before and called my doctor, and she has told me if you do, you'll die.
She ain't got.
No. So, but I'm very serious this time, and I really do want to do this thing. I did everything that you said, so many times, so many wrong times, that I'm not quite sure where to even start. But what my question is I'm going to do it. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to do it. I want to be intelligent about doing it.
That's right.
I love the spiritual part of it that you're sharing. and how I can talk myself into it, and even with Pastor's message today, I'm ready with the spirituality.
Yeah.
But the actual intellectual part is where I need the help, and where do I go from here?
It's not about intellect. Your body knows. My body knew that wasn't good for me. When we ask or pray and listen, we already know. It's like called intuition. We already know. You trusting that. Trusting that. You know what I mean? And maybe you don't really get it now, but it's so real. It's so real. But I understand the intellect, but it's so that's the complex side of chemistry.
Right, that's the
Intellect.
feelings versus the
But I want
trust
you
in the
Yeah,
Lord. you know?
right, no, but what I'm saying, ask for God and will. But I understand the intellect, I mean, when we're coming from a space of maybe, I don't want to say you were right or wrong, it just simply is. There's no right or wrong.
Is there something specific that I can go from here to a farmer's market or someplace and buy, so that tomorrow morning I can eat?
There are some,
Your process.
Where would you live? I mean, like, start
Here in Oakland, I
Okay,
mean,
there's
I was talking Whole Foods or someplace like that, stay
Don't
away
pray
from
for all
it,
about
okay?
our market. I mean, truly. I don't, one thing about Whole Foods, if you Google Whole Foods, their 365 brand or a GMO, genetically modified organism. I really.
Did you say that 365 is GMO?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I don't know.
Oh, it's a big thing, Google it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I'll give you my number, and I will support you in getting the information that makes you feel
That's
more
illegal.
informed
Okay.
in your process.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Wait. Before we go on, I just want to say there are different things that really work with your body in terms, especially with specifics around diabetes. So I will help you to get some of that information, okay? There are things that I know I had an elder man to come and live with me for about a week from South Carolina, and he was using cinnamon sticks.
Oh, Dr. Africa?
Oh, Africa. He was. I don't even remember his name because someone else
For
brought
type
him
2.
to my
Are you
house.
type 2?
And he was insulin dependent, but he
But I'm not
wasn't.
insulin dependent.
But this man was insulin dependent, but he wasn't using the insulin anymore, and he was using cinnamon sticks to balance his sugar.
Wow.
He chewed cinnamon sticks, and he had been so amazed by the way it worked for him. You know, and I know now that agave is a big thing, it's all over the market. I don't really know that much about it, but I've heard things about it.
Okay, if you're like a sweet tooth, I mean, what I do, I use dates. You want to really use the natural. Agave is like probably 95%, what do you call it, the corn syrup. They say, so they say they get the blue brand, but it's still processed. I mean, for diabetes, I mean, having been one for 35 years on insulin, I would really not recommend anything that's been processed. If you want that sweet tooth, or sweet banana, you can soak dates, right, or any raisin or dried fruit, and drink the water. I mean, that's the nectar right there. And the fruit will, how can I say, it will rehydrate itself. Because when it's dry, it's taking fluids out of your body. It has to become that raisin again. You know, it has to become that dried apricot again to metabolize. So you could soak your dried fruits, and whatever dried fruits you may like, if you like them at all, and drink the water. It's so sweet. And then you can put them in your smoothies for sweeteners, right? And chop up apples. So nature's bounty is outside. So we can both, I mean, all,
Corresponding to help you.
Yeah, totally.
Feel your information back around.
But
what
this
you need.
gentleman, I know, don't give it up. Sitting down in the dark.
Yeah.
But it's a 1-2.
You know, like you talk about water and so on, and drinking water. Can you talk about the baseline, the organic?
I'm sorry. Say that
Can you
again.
talk about the baseline? Let's say if you go and you buy a fruit, but it has pesticides and so on, you soak it, and you're just passing on the chemicals and the pesticides. And can you discuss GMOs a little bit more so everyone can understand? Because even as we do this fast, we still need to put quality materials in our body in order to produce the results that you're talking about.
Okay, well, GMOs are genetically modified organisms, all right? So basically what that means is that they're not grown in nature. Let's keep it really simple. They're not grown in nature. Right? But the seeds that they produce, they spread out, right? So if I have a cornfield here, and you live 5 miles away, but I'm growing genetically modified organisms, basically wipe your cornfield out.
Mm.
So that's just how serious it is. That's why I say prayer